Hmm. The market sometimes is like a toddler. Sometimes it just needs to go on consolidation and rest. Sometimes it just needs to. It made a big move and got all these emotions out, and it just needs to calm down and get back to equilibrium. Yeah, the market is like a toddler. It's not logical. Mm-mm. Full of emotions. And again, sometimes it needs to just rest and do a retest before it makes that next big move. You know what? This thing called trading, investing, it really, really, really requires you to have this different perspective. Like, you are not gonna give up. You are gonna set your boundaries. You are going to have this outlook because it really is emotional, like this roller coaster. So the market is like a toddler. And so, yeah, it is. It's not logical. I think about times when Powell gets up and speaks, and I actually I've seen this, and the market goes down. He said hi. That's all he said. That's all the man said was hi. Okay. Now, of course, he had other information too, but and then maybe it recovered a few seconds later. But regardless, it is not logical. You can have a company that has the best earnings, and the market still goes down that day. Right. And then only to pop back up because all they did was sell, get it at a cheaper price, and come back in. And so it is emotional, just like toddlers can be. But the reality of it is we are stepping into this as a parent. I gotta set boundaries. I gotta give instruction. I gotta make sure that I got myself the things that I need in place, right? To train her in the way she can go. And listen, we're not training the market. If anything, the market knows every single thing about us. Okay. And the market cares nothing about me. The market cares nothing about you. The market cares about our liquidity, our money, and is happy when we donate our money, when we give our money because we want to hold it, even though it's clear that this is not coming back for the moment. And it enjoys it. It enjoys it. I'm convinced it does. The market does not care about you. It don't care about you hoping and all that stuff. And that's my thing. Like whenever so this let me say this. I'm gonna get back to the whole toddler analogy. I look at myself now as a waiter, as a watcher. That's how I look at myself, not just a trader, a waiter, a watcher. This battle is between the bulls and the bears, the sellers and the buyers. And I am watching, patiently waiting. And sometimes it's immediate, like sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower, right? I am watching, I am waiting. And then for my entry, right, to be in line with one of those sides. And so it's important to have this perspective because the market's going to do what it wants. It's going to behave how it wants. It does not care what our entries are. And it knows certain things, especially with options, depending on when your contract expires, it literally could just be holding out in consolidation, sleep right now, not doing nothing, right? Yes, bouncing here, there, but it's not going anywhere. It's consolidating. But that literally is a prime opportunity to prepare. So we were trying to do this video, and she's all over the place, oh, no, no, knocking stuff over. Okay, clearly it's not a good time to do a video. But now she's asleep. If I wasn't doing this video, it's cooking, it's prepping, it's me getting rest, right? It's me learning how to navigate with a toddler that actually is actually has all these emotions, but it's very predictable. And it's not that we're trying to predict things. We just know, I know she need a nap. I know she's gonna take a nap. I know she's hungry. I know all these things about her. Just like the market. When you be in it, regardless, you'll start learning different behaviors, especially if you start focusing on just like learning something particular to trade, whether it's an EFT, futures, whatever you decide, an index, finding or EFT, finding one that you just want to trade and you just learn that one. You're going to see some of the same behaviors. And behind these trades, yeah, you got algos, you got computers, okay. But behind these trades are people that not only like toddlers are also emotional, especially when you have their money, especially when we have our money in there. So I'm going to take you to a biblical reference. We go to the NIV, or okay, whichever one, but go to Proverbs 17:27. The Bible says, the one who has knowledge uses words with restraint. The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint. And whoever has understanding is even tempered. So whoever has understanding is even tempered. That's Proverbs 17:27. Now, that can be very interesting because there's been times where it was like, oh my goodness, being in a trade. Only for me to get out and look and see, wow, if I would have held on just to look at this level. It was all the fear, the FOMO, it was not necessary. It's just that when you're in the middle of it, you see the candles moving, you see the prices, you see it going up, you see it going down. All these emotions can take over. And it's important in when you are trading. I've learned so much to have that evenness about you. And I love how the Bible talks about being content, whether you made $5, $17, $1,000, 10,000, whatever you made. Because if you can see the move, you can continue to do that, and you can continue because there's all these different opportunities in the market every day. And so with a toddler, I'm not gonna try to like overpower her. And nah, I already know what she needs, right? I have to guide her, I have to set boundaries, I have to help her stay calm, I have to divert her attention, right? And that's, of course, I can't control that in the market. What I can control is how I navigate it. So definitely with my stops, depending on what it is, because some scalps I do not put my stop on. I just know I'm disciplined enough now. Now, at first I wasn't. I would, you see it. Okay, I'm gonna push it, and you just keep watching, and I get out. And so some of them I'm not putting, or I might do a trail stop. It just depends on what it is. But if I'm doing a swing trade, I have my stops on and I am setting those boundaries because news could come out or anything and it hit my stop, get me out before it continues to go in the opposite direction. And so it's not about being weak, not about trying to prove something. It's about having your overall plan and what makes sense for you. Because if we can keep our losses small, we can continue to just compound. I think about you do $25 a day. Somebody can say, oh, that's nothing. People blowing accounts every day. So be content with what you make because all it can do is compound and multiply. That's all it can do, right? If we have our risk management. And so with the market, it's emotional, it's people behind it. The market knows everything about you. It's designed in a way to make you sleepy at times. So get up, take your vitamins, do what you need to do. It's designed to take your time. As a mom, like in a minute, I know I gotta make sure my family got food. My son got what he need. We gotta go over school reports, and the list goes on. My daughter needs stuff, my husband. I have my own roles and responsibilities. So the market also know, let me get her on here and suck her all her time because it's not just money that's your capital, it's also your time, your energy, all that is currency, right? And so I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Denisha on a mission where we see our entries and execute in the market, but we be a solution in the marketplace, because God just doesn't want us behind the computer just trading all day or just doing one thing. He has ideas and opportunities and gifts and talent and assignments that God needs us to do. Now, God, I'm wholeheartedly, we got to get somebody else to do it. If you don't do it, if you don't be obedient to it, but still God has things for you regardless and never leaves you. He'll just start with you wherever you decide to start at. Okay. And also has an opportunity to multiply and restore your time too. So I won't get into that all the way. This is that video, but I had to drop that. But just know that the market has a lot of emotions. It is going to try to overpower you in a way. And when you allow it to do that, it just becomes exhausting. So we must steward our response, right? We must gain clarity and have the longevity and the peace within this. And so I had to cut a trade the other day, and I did not want, but it hit my risk tolerance, plus it hit a level, and it was at a decision point where it could have been 50-50. I need to cut it, right? Because what would I regret more? But also I had to shift my perspective because, okay, well, if it does do this, this, and this, where would I enter in? Right? Because it actually made a beautiful move. But there's beautiful moves, there's entries all the time, especially when you know how to do options and you can do a put, right? So you can do vertical credit spreads, you can just do you can do covered calls. I mean, there's so many opportunities in the market. It can be overwhelming at times. You're like, I want to get in, I want to trade, I want to do this, I want to do that, right? And so being prepared with your risk tolerance, and one of the main things I like to see is like the thinking about my entries, right? So where I'm gonna enter, where would I exit? Where would this be a scalp that now, if it gets in this other area, I will close a position. It's no longer a scalp. I'll wait for it to come in another position. And then that means this now could be a swing trade, right? Or a day trade. Because not every trade is created equal. Because I don't need to be holding no 0 DTE contract for the whole day, because it is every moment is no longer worth what it was worth. And so anyway, this is not a trading how to trade video. This is a perspective shift video. And it's beautiful to me to be able to like to be able to learn how to do this, to know how to do this. Like that's amazing. So it's important for us not to give up in this pursuit, right? And it's important for us to have the wisdom, okay? Because the Bible will call for us when it teaches us about like wisdom and being able to use that when we're in the market, when we see all of this chaos and these different things going on, these emotions, you're in this trade, but now it's going against you, knowing, okay, let me check this, this, and this before I cut it, right? And so being able to have that is key. So go back, look at your trading plan, evaluate your trading plan, look at past trades. Is this actually a high probability plan? And then how often do I see this in the market? Because you should be able to see that show up several times in the market every week for it to even be something that you consider. Or you might have, like I have multiple plans. I have plans for elite. I have plans for swing trades. I have plans if I see if it's choppy that day, if I see that it is trending that day. And so not all those work at once. And I had to learn how to take those hits and switch it. And I'm still navigating to make sure that I'm paying attention. Because it's easy to be like, to hear this news that came out. And then now you're thinking about the news and you're not thinking about the plan or what you're seeing in front of you. And so the market definitely can be like a toddler. And you know what? I'm actually going to come back on here and I'm going to talk about how it's actually a superpower, right? It's a superpower because as a parent, you actually have this superpower, this intuition, right? And then because your heavenly father wants you to be successful, right? Is giving you some insight too. And oftentimes we don't lean into that. So I'm gonna actually record a video on that. I'm gonna be sharing that. And you let me know what you think about it. Do you think the market sometimes be like a toddler? And if not, what is true to you, right? Is it like running a business, right? A startup? Is it like navigating in the business world? Like, what is it to you? Is it like just going to a fun park and riding on a roller coaster? What is it to you? And start having fun with this stuff. People say, oh, trading's not fun. Investing, yes, it is. You better figure out how to have fun with it because it can be emotional, it can be stressful, right? But we're not going to let it stress us out. We're not going to do that because this literally is an opportunity. We can literally open our laptops and make money from the stock market. How beautiful is that? Like, that's amazing. Especially when you come from an area where you just been working and you got to show up and you got to do this and you just been working. You come like, okay. Now, when you lose your trade, when you losing trades, you're like, okay, what's going on? I don't feel good. But there's opportunities every single day. And so you just got to keep showing up. So I'm going to let this toddler stay asleep while one of my trades is just in consolidation right now. And in consolidation, it's time to continue to prepare and not panic. Because oftentimes in consolidation, institutions are positioning themselves right there because they aren't able to just throw a bunch of money because it alarms it too fast. They're going to piece this money in, right? And sometimes they're offloading or loading positions in that consolidation. And so we have to be mindful that you can see that okay these candles the wicks they is starting to curl. Okay, there's a higher probability is more on the lower end of it. There's a higher probability that it's going to come down this amount before it goes back up, or okay, I see it's making higher highs. Okay, well, if it breaks this area, sits here, then I can tell that it's now going to be ready to go. So anyway, if we really pay attention, we can see it. And then when it is not doing what we thought it was going to do, that risk management is key because you can cut something at $25, $100, $1,000, whatever you're trading with, you can cut that and make that back. But when you start saying, okay, you have a $2,500 account and you now just you risk $500, you leverage $500 and you YOLO'd or you, let's see, you size for zero the whole $500. No. And I didn't even like when I first started, I would be like, okay, I'm in. No, no. Risk, and I knew better. Risk, well, kind of didn't, because it's kind of like, okay, well, if I'm in it, I'm in it. It looks favorable. I mean, my plan is checked. But actually, no, these are some things it was missing. And so that's where I gotta check my emotions, my systems, my boundaries, my risk management, right? Because we're gonna be continuing to do this. And so having that calmness in the middle of all those temper tantrums is real important. Okay. All right. So that is one way the market is like a toddler. All right, I'm going to hang this up. Let's see. Hello. Who's gone? Good. Who's calling?